This video, I just want to talk about my early thoughts on Animal Crossing New Horizons. And I have some very conflicting thoughts on it. First, I'll say that the game is pretty good. It's really refreshing to have a new mainline Animal Crossing game to play after so long since New Leaf. And it's really great to have a console Animal Crossing game since City Folk. I'll start off with a lot of things I like. It's really the small stuff, like you can increase your inventory size, which is really great. It's like the one thing I hated in New Leaf, or even the past Animal Crossing games. If you wanted more space, you had to have mail and put your items in your mail slot, and that got kind of annoying. So having it way bigger, and it fits the whole combination of having you to get crafting material, which leads to my next point. I really like the crafting idea. It really adds to the gameplay loop of the game. You don't have to, if you want items, you don't have to always just buy them. You can just make them if you want. So it gives you another option. It gives you something else to do. And another thing I wrote down, the graphics. Yeah, the graphics are pretty impressive. When I mean by graphics, I mean how the game looks, how the game systems work in the game. So I like how the water looks, or how the water works. I love how when there's wind, trees blow, just like in Breath of the Wild. When you can see clouds from above you on the ground. The clouds I love that you can see the clouds. I love when it's about to get, it's about to rain. You can tell by the weather, right? Just looking up at the sky that it's about to rain. And they're actually you have to go back inside a building and come back out for it to rain. Oh, rain while you're outside. And that's pretty great. That's pretty amazing. It boosts the atmosphere of the Animal Crossing games. This is the most atmospheric Animal Crossing game to date. And the lighting, when you in your house, depending on the type of day, if you have windows, you can see the light sheeting in, so you don't need to turn on the lights because your lights are already lit up in the morning. So you can just turn your lights off, and you can completely see in your house. When it's dark, you can't see anything if you have your lights off. That's a really cool touch. That goes a long way. And even lights in your room, they sheen upon other objects. I don't think any other Animal Crossing game has done that in the way New Horizons does. When we saw in the direct that you could terraform islands, that was a pretty great idea to add as an incentive to unlock. People are going crazy if you haven't seen it. People are going wild with terraforming, what people are making with it, and what you can do with your island. Basically negates the whole having a specific town, and being just stuck with it and being jealous of other people's town. Because if you don't like your town layout, or you like someone else's town layout, you can, once you unlock terraforming, you can just kind of, I guess, make that island. Another small thing is the camera. There's two modes for the camera. You can have it to just regular, where the world's rolling. I think either way the world is still rolling no matter what camera you use, but you can have it so it's more like a top-down perspective, like the original GameCube game, and you can see better what's directly around you. So I really like that. That's a good move. Another thing, again, the NPCs, the villagers, I'm a little disappointed with how there are still only 8 personality types, but I'll get into that later. But the villagers interacting with a lot of stuff you place outside, which is a new thing you do, but the villagers interacting with them, with items, and anything you place outside, that's amazing. It gives life to the villagers instead of them just walking around doing nothing, just standing there. You'll see your villagers sit, relax, read a book, eat a sandwich, sing, dance, whistle. It's amazing. It brings back vibes from the original game, where you see your villagers just run off somewhere, or they'll kick a ball. That's my favorite thing about the villagers in this game. And also, I really like the new mile system. I was kind of worried that it would be more it would make the game feel more like a mobile game. I just don't really like when mobile games or games implement systems like that, but I think New Horizons kind of eased me up to that type of system. It's optional, and once you get enough Nook miles, you can just ignore them. They don't. Once you get stack up your Nook miles to a point where the rewards you get from them aren't that important, you can just ignore them and it's not a big deal. But they basically act like achievements, and you get rewarded for doing tasks in the game. And the daily ones, they're daily achievements, and then you have a board of Nook miles you could achieve. A lot of them are hidden, which I like because it's a surprise. You can redeem these Nook miles for special items. Right now it's just Tom Nook's merchandise you can buy with Nook miles. I hope they add better rewards. You can get Tom Nook's merchandise, and then you can get special items, and you can redeem them for special skills for your characters, or additions. a bigger inventory space. You get that through redeeming Nook miles, and you can get different hairstyles and stuff like that through redeeming Nook miles. But once you're done with that, it's kind of just, there's nothing really else to get. And I think that's about it for like the major points I like. Like there's a bunch of other smaller things I like how your villager looks up or moves their eyes are not just static the whole time anymore. So like when you open up your inventory, your character's eyes will like look up, or like if you buy an item on the floor, your character will look directly at the item. Like small stuff like that I really like. But on to the next point, or the next part, my complaint list. A bunch of grievances or concerns I have for the game. So again, like bringing it back to the villagers, I really don't understand why there's still only 8 personality types and they're locked to their specific genders. Like there's 8 personality types, and they're split up because they're split in half, the males and the females. And I don't think any of them like cross over. I've noticed that if you have 2 villagers with the same personality types, they start to just say the exact same thing over and over. So it gets it lessens the individuality of them. Because I have Anikati, which is I forgot their villager, I think it's Peppy or Popular or whatever. And I have Sprinkle, and they say the exact same thing to me every time I talk to them. Like sometimes they'll be different, but I'll go up to Sprinkle and she'll say something about being famous, and I'll go to Anikati, she'll say just about the same exact thing, and the only things that's different is their catchphrase. It's just kind of like rubs me the wrong way. I know like it's kind of a series problem, but this is like the 5th game in the series, and they elected to not change the personalities. I'll get back to this point, but updating the game to fix this, I don't think they would actually do, because that's something that you get villagers and it's not that long until you fill up that cap, which is another thing I want to get to. Once you fill up that cap, like if they were to add new villager and personality types, you have to get rid of your whole island or your whole villager, all of your villagers to get those new characters in. That's not something they're gonna fix, and it's kind of disappointing that that's how it is. I mean, if they do that, I mean, that's cool, but it's kind of like a little too late. Unless they implement, like add something like to expand your island, or to eventually buy another island that houses different villages you can visit. Like in the GameCube game, you can go to an island, and that island has its own set of villagers. If they did something like that, that would negate, it wouldn't negate, but it would soften the blow of just having only 8. But yeah, that's something I really thought they would change, but they haven't. Another thing is like the biggest thing I've seen like online or anything discussing Animal Crossing is the quality of life of this game. A lot of things are very slow and monotonous. Like to me, it's things that really need quality of life changes are like the crafting. Like you can only craft things that are in your inventory. If you have a small inventory, that means you have to carry around a bunch of resources, and it takes up a lot of slots. I have a ton of stuff in my storage that you can't craft with unless it's in your inventory. So even if you're in your house, you can't just get the materials from your storage and craft stuff from there. You have to manually put it in your inventory and craft what you want. It would have been way better if you could just, at least when you're in your house, you can use stuff in your storage to craft. And even when you're crafting, you only craft one thing at a time. That's my biggest problem with quality. I know there's like a lot of other things, like the online, it's monotonous to just visit other people's islands. The tools, it's crazy to me that your tools don't show any like signs of being used in this game, when in previous Animal Crossing games, you use your axe and it's about to break, you can see that it's going to break. Like you can see it getting worse and worse after each use. But in this game, they elected to just make it a surprise where your tools just break. There's no way to know when your tools are going to break unless you're mentally counting, which I know a lot of people aren't going to do, especially when you're using multiple tools. It's kind of ridiculous. It's baffling even. It's a silly design choice to not do that when they, for the past 4 games, have always shown you if a tool is going to break or not. Like I could see them updating the game and adding like a bar instead of actually showing your tools getting worse, because I don't know how you can show like your fishing pole getting worse after a while. But they need like either a counter or a bar telling us when their tools are going to break. And like discovery of, like, I got a golden slingshot, and the golden tools in this game are breakable, and that's really crazy because they basically become useless. Like, why am I gonna, there's no reason for me to create a golden tool when there's other golden things I can make that aren't going to break. And it's really like there's no tier above gold as of right now that make tools unbreakable. Yeah, I can see them adding like a platinum material to the game, and you can craft something that is unbreakable, or diamond is unbreakable. This is a JoJo joke. Okay, anyways, but yeah, it's just baffling design decisions in my opinion that they've made to like a lot of small parts of the game, and they really add up that make the game like a little worse to play. Next thing is the updates, and this is not really a negative, it's just more of a concern that like right now there are a lot of things missing from New Horizons. A lot of characters are missing, a lot of items are missing, like Nintendo items are nowhere to be found, they're not in the game at all. A lot of furniture sets are gone. It's really odd that a lot of these things are missing, and we just got an update that added Leif to the game, which is from New Leaf, and he sells bushes and stuff, but it begs the question, like, why wasn't he in the game in the first place? I've seen like a discussion online saying, like, a lot of people are saying like, well, it's to keep interest in the game. It's like, does Animal Crossing really need to keep interest like for that long? Like, doesn't really need to stoop that low to have people keep playing it? Like, I would assume that like if the stuff was in the game already, it would still keep people interested in the game. It'll keep people playing to work up to that point. Instead, like it staggers the few of us that have played the original like multiple Animal Crossing games, and just only benefits like new players that don't know, like new players that only came from like Pocket Camp or New Leaf, and trying to entice them like, oh look, we have a new update, come back to the game and play, we have Leaf now, we have Crazy Red, he's back too. I'd rather them update the game than leave the game the way it is right now, because to be honest with you, New Horizons is probably the one Animal Crossing game with the least amount of content in it in terms of the mainline game as of right now. The updates are just like themselves are just really like they're right now it's a mix of new things and old things. I really hope like future update, like it's up in the air what the next updates will bring. Even with the data mines, which I have looked at, like there's like I won't discuss what's in those data mines, just in case no one wants to know what they are, but a lot of it just seems more of the same, like more stuff from New Leaf that got cut is coming back, and maybe one or two new things. I would have preferred it if the new updates were like completely new things. A lot of things I want in the game aren't in the game right now, such as diving, the multiplayer island, Club LOL, which I don't think they're gonna add. The Dream Suite's not there. There's no post office, so I can't talk to Pelly or Phyllis. There's no cafe. Like sometimes NPCs will come in the shop and you can talk to them, but that's not in the game yet. And there's no gyroids to collect. It's just like, okay, yeah. I guess I just have to wait a couple of months after this game, the $60 game came out, and see if they add this stuff in. That's the only reason why I look at these data mines, because I really don't like the idea of just guessing what they're gonna add. If they were gonna do this, I would rather them to like release a roadmap, or like have a picture of a roadmap of the stuff they plan on adding to the game. But again, at the same time, that looks pretty bad when you're advertising, yeah, we're gonna add all these old features from a 2012 3DS game that we had in the original base game into the Switch game, just gonna stagger it out. So it kind of looks bad to do that, but it's just most likely, it's just more annoying that Nintendo decided to do this. But at the same time, I feel like they did this because they want to release this game as fast as possible, because there's really nothing, like if this game did not come out around this time, there would have been a huge Switch route, which is a totally different discussion. But if they were to delay it any further, there would have been nothing until May for the Switch, and that would have been kind of devastating. I just sort of get why they're doing this, but it's just, they had all this time to make the game. I'm not even including the time from New Leaf. They had from 2017 till 2020 after Splatoon 2 came out, which I don't think really took that much time from them to make, since they it's just Splatoon 2 is more of the same of Splatoon 1. But they take from 2017 to 2020 to right now, and this is all they had. It makes you question a lot of the things they did add, like Harvey's Island. Did that really need to be in the base game over Brewster being added, or Leaf, or any other characters? I really don't think so. That could have been an update. It concerns me that the game's life is dependent on these updates. So as of right now, I still play New Horizons daily to check the shops and stuff like that and build my island. But at the same time, I see myself just struggling to find things to do. It's more of the same. I wanted some new stuff in the game. Like, I already experienced everything new about this game, because most of the new stuff in this game is very small things, like the lighting and the graphics and customizing, like the backpacks. Yeah, they're cool. I really like the backpacks, but like they're backpacks. They're in Pocket Camp. There's really small additions, and I'm really wanting like really big additions. And from the data mine, it seemed like they have some big additions coming, but that remains to be seen. Like the Mayday tour, get it, Mayday? Anyways, the tour is like, I really like that idea, but it seems, in the wedding photo shoot, that seems like a really cool idea. But at the same time, again, it's really small. I guarantee, like, there's nothing other, like, there's nothing more to them. Like the Mayday thing, I expect, that's it. You go through a maze, you talk to that villager at the end, who I think is Rover, and that's it. That's the Mayday tour, and that's just, okay, that's like 15 minutes max of content. I mean, I'm pretty sure you can do it again, but it would have been cool if there was like 5 versions on the Mayday tour, and you could, I don't know exactly how it's gonna work since it's not out yet, but it looks like it's just one map and that's it. The wedding thing, I am assuming it's just gonna be you do their photo shoot, and that's it. 15 minutes max of new content, and you're done. You can do it again if you want, or you have other, use their furniture to make your own photos for other villagers' weddings or whatever, but that's it. And like the new stuff, like the old stuff, like, of course has more content because it's pretty established, but the new stuff, I want to see more new than old, because I'm really tired of, like, I did not wait all this long for a new Animal Crossing game just to do the exact same things over and over again. I want some new stuff. Even though I want the old stuff back, I want some new content in the game, new substantial content in the game. And I think that's why, like, crafting is like a big thing for me, because crafting changes a lot of things. You get recipes, you can make new stuff. It's fun to collect materials, like to work up and collect materials, and like, finally I can make this thing now. You make it and you display it, or you keep it. Like the wands, that was a pretty cool addition. Like, cool thing to find. I just want some new stuff, like new substantial content. I hope like we get a way to, like, I hope we get like a similar thing to the GameCube game where you can buy a totally new island and have different villagers on there. Because right now the cap for villagers is the same as New Leaf, I believe, which is 10, which is kind of crazy when the map is way bigger than New Leaf. I wish it was a cap. I wish it was 15 like the GameCube game, because like there's space on like the villager list once you have 10 for like at least another villager. I'm assuming it's in case you get another like player villager on your island. 10 is really, really small. Like, nope, they just gotta reside at the campsite. And even like then, the campsite, you can't, like, once you get 10 villagers, you can't, on the tours, you can't see any new villagers. You have to either only use amiibos to get, like, see more villagers, which is really weird to me. But I digress. I got on too long about that point. Yeah, in conclusion, my thoughts on the game are that it's a really great early access game. The game is a lot of fun. Like, it's fun to make designs. There's a lot of fun things to do in the game, and like the thing is, like, it's Animal Crossing. Animal Crossing to me is like, it's always fun to me. Like, no matter what game I'm playing, even if I didn't really like New Leaf that much, I still enjoyed my time playing New Leaf. That's why I have over 100 hours playing it, even though I didn't like it as much as the other games. I also want to say that the game itself right now feels more akin to Happy Home Designer, less of a home console game and more into the spin-off territory. To me personally, because what I want from an Animal Crossing game is that sense of community where I'm like one of the villagers. I'm just like one of them. It's fine to have privileges, like I can put stuff outside, or I can make these bridges and stuff, like, or suggest stuff like that. And I don't think any villagers in this game in New Horizons suggest things either, which is kind of weird. To me, that's what Animal Crossing was. Like, it's like you move into a new town or a new place, and you just make a living there, and you just live your day out with these cute animal villagers, and they either like you or hate you, and you try to get along with them, or you make friends with them, or you do activities with them, stuff like that. And games onward from New Leaf felt like the village, like, it's more geared towards people who like to decorate and like their villagers to be more like accessories, which is not something I'm too thrilled about. Like a major example is, like, look at anything from Pocket Camp. Look at anything people make in Pocket Camp. Like, the whole thing about what people do in Pocket Camp is get these super cool items, and they just display them. And they get their favorite villagers and they just display them. That's good for Pocket Camp, but it's the same thing that's happening to New Horizons. People get these cool items. They're just doing the same thing they would do in Pocket Camp or Happy Home Designer, just doing it in Animal Crossing New Horizons, and that's not bad at all. But it's like, that's the only thing to do in this game, really. Like, in the GameCube game, there would be events where your villagers just partake into. They'll do morning aerobics, and I don't really count what they do. We're working out individually just around your island to be aerobics. It's not an event, it's something your villagers do. In the GameCube game, it's an event that your villagers partake in, and you can see them do it, and you can even participate in the aerobic, which your villager can do in New Horizons. And there was sports events your villagers would do, just events to do. There was like things villagers would come together and do, and you can go there and you can spectate or even interact. There's like a sports festival and stuff like that. I know the game has not been out that long, but I really don't see them adding that. I don't see them adding that stuff into this game when like this game is mostly geared towards like Animal Crossing players that love the decorating side of the game. I get that. If I really want that stuff, I can just go to other franchises to experience something like that. But that's where I got, and that's why I love Animal Crossing. And it's just like, what do you get to do? I guess. I hope this game receives a lot of updates and a lot of substantial new content, because these updates are free as of right now, and like it seems like they're gonna just keep on making updates for this game. They're going pretty strong right now. I know they've recently I don't think the virus is like slowing them down. Like probably now, because those like I know a lot of people are saying like these updates have probably already been done for a long time. They're just starting it out to keep people interested. So these updates are probably already done. They're going at a consistent rate. It's only been a month and they already added like a substantial amount of content for the next 3 months. And then I expect a summer update that adds like either diving or something, and maybe the multiplayer island, hopefully. It's gonna be exciting to see like the new seasonal updates. Yeah, I'm a little optimistic about it, but the game does feel rushed. I won't say unfinished, but it feels rushed and more akin to a mobile or early access game. But I hope that the game eventually delivers or adds a lot of new content that keeps me playing the game, that keeps me interested in the game more than like New Leaf. And I'm still enjoying what I'm playing, even though I feel like I'm nearing the fatiguing status I had with New Leaf. But those are just my impressions or thoughts on it. I might make a video a year, because I'm pretty sure it's gonna be like a whole full year or two of updates that add a lot of stuff. But we'll see, time will only tell. But yeah, that's what I thought. Let me know in the comments what you think about New Horizons so far. Let me know if the new stuff outweighs the cut stuff. Do you really think that Animal Crossing is more catered towards the creative type players? Let me know in the comments what you think. And yeah, that's about it. Thanks for watching.